What is up, you guys? Kike here, back with another video for you guys. And today we finally got a new top-end rebuild kit for the Yamaha Warrior behind me. The newest one to the addition of the quads in the garage. I went ahead and I ordered one off Amazon. Now you guys know I am always on a budget, what I like to call. But I did order a decent set this time, as you guys probably saw on the thumbnail. And I went ahead and I ordered a niche, I think that's how you pronounce it, piston kit. So it's the piston, the rings, it comes with the spark plug, wrist pin, circlips, and then the gaskets. And then I also went ahead and ordered some oil filters. They were like 10 bucks for 3 of them. Not too bad. I mean, I'm probably gonna swap out the first one within the first, heating up of the engine, and maybe a first ride right away and switching it out, because I want to see what's going on with the engine, if everything looks to be good and everything like that. So in this video, we're gonna go ahead and probably hone the cylinder a little bit more, because it does still have a slight piece where my nail can still catch. And since we are going ahead and putting a new piston in there, I don't want anything to happen. That's kind of why I didn't end up putting the other piston, even though it was still kind of decent. And I went ahead and ordered this one. Like I said, you guys, I'm always on a budget, but this piston was only 60 bucks with the whole kit. I'm assuming it's real, because the last time, I don't know if you guys remember, I ordered a Amazon big bore kit, I think it was that for the LTZ, and it was supposed to be niche piston, and it didn't look anything like it. This one is not marked. I'll show you guys just at least that this one is not marked or anything like that, but I mean, you guys can just tell that it's, I mean, it looks a little bit better quality than the last one. So, but anyways, real quick before we go over the new parts and what it came with, so you guys can take a look at everything, I want to go over the last things that we did to the quad. So we did end up taking out the old engine and basically figuring out before that the crank was bad. The cylinder and the piston looked okay, but still, I'm rebuilding it. I might as well go ahead and do it a little bit more right than just slapping it on together like that. So that's what we're gonna go ahead and do. So we pulled that one off. We went over a couple of things that we may need, a couple of things that were bad. Also, we went over the last engine, the one that I had gotten for the other Warrior, which I didn't end up using. And that's where you guys saw my crazy find. If you guys didn't watch that video, definitely watch the video before this, so you guys are up to date. I picked this quad up super cheap, so this is gonna be like pretty much the part 2 or 3 of the video. And the extra engine that I had looked like mold, rust. It was just terrible. At least the top end. Thankfully, the bottom end, the crank and everything looked pretty decent, and everything was good on that. So I took that one apart, basically made sure that the crank was going to be good. Went over the gears. I made sure that the gears were shifting while holding the clutch. Everything looked good. I didn't open the right side case where the clutch is at, because I didn't want to risk ruining the gasket, because I have a gasket kit, but it's like a cheaper one, and I don't really trust them. Usually I feel like they always leak unless you like really torque down the nuts. Even out of spec, like way more than they need to be, like they're a little bit thinner. So I didn't want to take it apart. If it becomes an issue, I'll probably take it apart after we put everything together and actually try to take it for a ride and figure out that it's an issue. But anyways, let's go over the new piston kit and what it came with, so you guys can check it out. And I'll be sure to put a link in the description below. If you guys are new to this channel, definitely subscribe. A lot of videos always coming up. I'm definitely always finding some cheap deals on these quads around here, so they definitely are like my hobby, and I do like pretty much, I guess you could say, like rebuilds, flips, and then, you know, just for my enjoyment and for my garage. I love being in my garage and working on these things and learning new things along the way and figuring out all the disasters that come with it. But anyways, let's go ahead and get to the piston kit that I just got for the Yamaha Warrior 350. So I have it here laid out on the table for you guys. Ignore these. These are the oil filters that I ordered. They were like 10 bucks for 3. If you guys want, I'll put the link for these as well. There is the piston, as I was showing you guys before. I mean, I'm not 100% sure now that I think about it how exactly the niche piston is supposed to look like, but this one looks in a little bit better quality than the last one that I got with that big bore kit. But yeah, it's not that bad. I don't think it's that bad. Let's compare to a stock looking one. Now that I notice, this one's a little bit lower. I don't know if that's going to be an issue, but we will soon find out. There's how that one looks. There's how that one looks. These are a little bit longer on the OEM one. Not sure what that's about, so we'll figure it out. I'm sure it'll be fine. If anything, I think it might help that these are smaller. Not sure. I might have to look into it. Anyways, circlips, wrist pin, spark plug. I actually got an NGK, so that's why I kind of feel like it might be legit. I don't think these are that costly, especially for the Warriors also. The piston rings, I haven't opened up these, but I mean, they look fine. And then the gasket kit, which is just the bottom and the top. Basically the cylinder gasket and then the head gasket. Those look pretty legit to me, I believe, but we will see. Yeah, it just says gasket kit. And like how I said to you guys, I paid I think it was 60, like $4 with tax. I think it was like at 59 something. Maybe it was 70 bucks with tax, but it was 59, like 95 or something like that for this kit. Alright, again, maybe in this video too, I will be putting on the clutch and the key and then the handle for the lever for the clutch also, so we will be doing that. But yeah, anyways, let's go ahead and get started and get everything put together on the quad. Like how I said last video, you guys saw pretty much I put everything, well, I put the engine back in. Pretty much that's all I did, I guess, the last video. So yeah, that's where we're at. But yeah, let's go ahead and get started. I'm getting ready to just hone the piston a little bit, or the cylinder, sorry. Just using a little bit of oil and the hone that I featured in another short clip on YouTube, and I got this hone at Harbor Freight. I think it was like 25 bucks, and honestly it's been pretty awesome. I don't really have any complaints, at least for the stuff that I used it for. Like I said, I'm not gonna go crazy because it's not that bad. There's just one little piece that I'm just really not liking. But yeah, this hone really gets the job done, at least for me. I think maybe a little bit more. And you want to like go up and down so you can make that cross hatching. Yeah, here I'll show you guys. I should have showed you guys it before, but I think I showed you guys before in the last video. I don't know if you guys can see that right there. That's probably the worst of it, but it looks way better than it was before. And you can maybe see some cross hatching in there. But yeah, I think that'll be good enough. And I already measured it. Everything should be good. So it should be ready to be put back in. Cool. Alright, so now we have this ready for the new piston to go on. So that should be good. Let's go ahead and we'll start putting the piston in and everything like that, and then I'm gonna come back so we can go ahead and get to the head part of it, and we could take a look at the head. Last time we checked and we didn't find any leaks on the head, so that's good. But I want to change out the valve seals, which I have here in my new gasket kit. These things are also kind of not notorious for a lot of valve leakage, but still, I mean, everything's out, might as well get it done. So we'll check back with that in just a little bit, and let's go to putting in the piston. Before we go ahead and get started with obviously putting the piston on, we need to pretty much prepare it before it's going on to the crank, the connecting rod, and then we can go ahead and start putting on the piston rings first, and then we can get to the rest of it. So we have everything laid out here pretty much, so we can go ahead and obviously the first step would be putting your piston rings on to the piston. Obviously before putting it on, it would be a whole lot easier, so this is pretty much how I do it. I'm gonna just show you guys a quick way, I guess. Pretty much I put this one on first. Obviously these things are pretty fragile. I looked up a picture because it's obviously going to be really hard for me to show you guys exactly, but this is how it's supposed to look. So they're not supposed to overlap each other, and they're just basically supposed to be just touching, and it's supposed to be facing that exact way. So pretty much it goes a certain way. So I'm gonna put this one on first. This one goes on at the very bottom. I believe this one's the oil ring. So pretty much there it is. That one's the easiest to put on, but like how I said, there's a gotta get it right. Next, you're gonna have these two thinner ones. Mine are not labeled. Sometimes they are labeled. Yeah, these are not. And obviously the thicker one goes after, and then this thinner one, it goes on the very top. I start from the bottom to the top. It's just a whole lot easier. I don't even think there's another way to do it, but yeah. So I already checked the ring gaps on my cylinder here, just to make sure. It is under spec. I think it's .12 to no, I think it's like .12. No, I think it's .10, but that should be no problem. And this is measuring, I guess, mainly the top two, not the oil one. But anyways, let's continue. So then you can put these on. They're the skinnier ones. They usually come right next to this anyways. So it doesn't matter which one it goes on either. Usually there's no, up or bottom one. So let's go ahead and put this one on. You want to be like very easy. I'm always scared to like stretch them too much and like throw them out of whack, I guess you could say. So I'm gonna put this one on the bottom, and it's only easier if you do the oil ring first, because then it becomes a lot harder to put on the oil ring once you have these two put on and like slide it in between. Alright, so I just moved them around a little bit. Next is going to be the thicker one. Like how I was saying, there is a thicker one. It might not look thicker, but there is one that's thicker. And usually I at least put it to the lettering up. Then you could also see if the ends are kind of curved like this down. Those are usually the ones that go like pointing down. I guess basically to me means they go, you know, downwards. So yeah, so let's put this one on first. And then also, actually, now that I think about it, there is another picture. Usually if you guys want to put it like this, I think I showed it maybe when I was doing like the 250 TRX for Irwin, his Honda 06 Honda TRX. That one came out good, and I mean, we basically followed the specs and steps to how to do it, and it came out pretty good. So I guess this is pretty much a good way to follow exactly how we're gonna do it. And then this is pretty much on 4-stroke, so it's all the same. But basically the bottom one, we're gonna put it facing this way. This is straight towards the exhaust. Again, you want to be very careful with these. Sliding them on. So I put it right here. It's like at the 11 o'clock position. The top oil ring is gonna go to the 7 o'clock position. Let's go ahead and put on one of the wrist pins. Trust me, you guys, this will make your life a whole lot easier. The circlips. Let's put in the circlips. I'm gonna go ahead and put a little bit of lube on these. And normally it says you want to put it like, I don't know if this makes sense, but in the like 3 o'clock position or 6 o'clock position. Wait, sorry. It says to put it at the 6 o'clock position or the 12 o'clock position. They actually feel tighter than the other ones, as in the old ones that were on there, but obviously they're old. Put this over. We're gonna put this over, and then go ahead and start sliding the wrist pin in. And remember, it does have an arrow. Like 99% of the time, all the pistons will have an arrow right here, at least pointing forward. That is forward towards the engine. Easiest way to remember is towards the exhaust, because usually most of the exhausts come out to the front. So let's go ahead and get this thing started. So I'm gonna go ahead and start it by putting it in here just a little bit, so at least it's started in there, you know. And we're gonna go ahead and look through here, making sure that obviously we are going to put it in through the right way. And here we are. It is now in. And now I'm just gonna put in the other circlip on the other side, which will probably most likely be a huge pain in the ass. So alright, you guys, and here I am gonna go ahead and open this up, and we're gonna put in the cylinder. Alright, you guys, so here we are, and I have the gasket set that I got with it. Like how I said, it doesn't have the big O-ring that goes on the bottom of the cylinder, but I had it in the gasket kit that I had previously, so I'm just gonna use that one. And honestly, I think it was a good idea, because after taking it out, it is pretty used up, obviously, but I didn't think it was that bad until I took it out. So now I'm gonna go ahead and open this up and use the gasket kits that it came with. Pretty much the cylinder, bottom gasket, and then the head gasket. I'm like always scared to like bend these or mess them up, and I feel like they always already are, especially in these packagings. I don't really get it. It's like the cheapest possible way to send stuff. Alright, so I'm gonna take this off. Alright, it should only go one way, which it goes like this. Like this. The slot side is where the timing chain and the chain goes, so we're gonna put it facing that way. We're gonna put this in through here. And you kind of want to just slide it over. And I'm gonna go ahead and put the pin that goes here and then the O-ring gasket. My dowel pin that's supposed to go right here is on my cylinder. This is a little metal collar, and then it's supposed to take O-ring. I don't know if you guys can see right here. Alright you guys, I didn't know if you guys could really see what I was pointing over here, but I guess you could on the video. So everything should be ready to go on here. And like how I said, there's a O-ring gasket right here around the end of the cylinder, and I have my dowel pin here, so I'm gonna just go ahead and slide this bad boy in so we can get everything going. First, I'm gonna go ahead and make sure this is a little bit more secure. Hate this because of the zip tie, and it always gives me anxiety that this gasket might rip. Make sure that the timing chain will be out the way. So I'm going to put that through the cylinder first. Okay, so we got that, and now I'm just gonna basically push in all the piston rings in order to slide the cylinder on. This is the tricky part, you guys. Very tricky. Alright you guys, so I had to put something on the flywheel over here, you can't see, but just basically a wrench so it would stop the piston from falling, because as you guys saw earlier, I was almost there, and then the piston kind of just went and dropped and down, and then that was it, I guess. That was it, and then pretty much I lost everything and it popped right back out. So I'm going to pull it up and make sure all the piston rings are okay and kind of facing where they need to be again. And I think we are good. So I'm going to continue to try and put this on. I should be having a way easier time now. Alright you guys, we are in. It looks like in reality the stupid timing chain guy was holding it in, unfortunately. So as you can tell, everything is sliding in properly. Now we just need to make sure the gasket is good. We slide it in. Right on. You want to make sure the back of the edge of the gasket matches up with the line right here, because it'll slide forward. Like I said, I definitely recommend putting a little tiny bit of Permatex gasket maker on the edges maybe, just to hold it still, because I had trouble with that. Also because it's really slanted down, and then also with the timing chain and the guy, make sure that's not in the way, because I thought it was holding up because of the piston rings, and partially it was hitting on the barely the edge of this, so obviously that's in the way. So there we have it. Everything looks like a snug fit. So the next thing I'm going to do is put my other timing chain guide over here. And this one will just slide in through here. There is like a little slot that it goes into, which let's take a look on this side. Alright, so there is just like a tiny slot here It doesn't really like hook onto anything or nothing like that. So right now we were in the middle of putting the front timing guide on here. Basically there's just a little slot right here and it kind of just sits there. That's pretty much it. So we're gonna go ahead and tackle the head now and go ahead and check that out.